Ladies and gentlemen, my name is ChromeDrake and welcome to the first part of a new Let's Play series for Thea the Awakening, which is a survival-based strategy 4X roguelike, which is very, very interesting in and of itself. I've never seen a game really like this before, though I know that there are a few coming out. Least of all, and I can't remember the name now, is from there's one coming out from the fellow who designed the Civ 4 Fall from Heaven mod, in point of fact, I believe. Anyway, I encountered this game on the mighty Weird Wizard Dave's channel, and it looked very, very interesting, so I will post a link to his video because it's well worth a little watch, just to have a look. I don't know if he's going to do a series, but that will be there, and it has crossed my radar before, but his video is where I really sort of caught my attention. I thought, that looks really good. So rather than doing an Age of Wonders Let's Play right now, we can do that at any time. Thea the Awakening is something new, it's something interesting, and I'm very, very interested to see where it goes. So, let's start a new game. Now, I am starting a new game. I have played a little bit of this, just to kind of get a feeling for it, and in actual fact, my last recording was slightly interrupted, but basically this has an interesting system, where progress, as you can see here, from your last game gives you XP, and actually gives you unlocks. So as you can see here, I've played Ostoya, the dual goddess of the morning and evening stars, and if I get to 50 XP, I assume I unlock the next trait down the tree. And we have lots of different gods that we can unlock, I assume, by just playing the game, so there seems to be quite a bit of replayability here. And we also have Marina, who's a very interesting looking god to me, the goddess of death and rebirth. And if anybody was interested in knowing where these gods come from, these are all based in Slavic and Russian mythology. Perun, for instance, is the god of thunder. I know that from a brief brush against an urban fantasy series called the Iron Druid. So this is all very, very interesting. I don't know much about the Slavic mythology. It seems to be another take, you know, from where I sit, it seems to be like a cross between Celtic and Nordic, and of course it's all their own stuff. I don't mean for a moment that they stole it from there. So yeah, I'm going to mispronounce names. That's going to be my thing straight off the bat, because I really don't know how to pronounce half of these things. So we could go Marina. I'm going to go and start with Ostoya again, because she's the one I did in the first place. The dual goddess of the morning and evening stars, the Aurora, and the guardian of the world-devouring hound, Simag. When the darkness came, you chose to fall down from the skies and use what power you had left to protect your worshippers. Now the sun is back, but only a few of your people remain, hungry, weakened, and scared. It is time to rise up, whip your men and women into shape, and have them fight for their future. So with that in mind, we're going to go start with a warrior focus on a normal difficulty. And this is a roguelike. I want everybody to know that. This could go horribly, horribly wrong, at which point we will just restart, maybe pick a different god, and have a different go. So we'll see what happens. Our trait is stellar education. Your people are driven to succeed, and impress their goddess, they gain experience faster. Here we go. Let's load into the world. I do like the artwork. The artwork is very nice. Very characterful. I like the dual goddess thing here.
Welcome. No time to waste. You are a deity of the High Pantheon, and you must help your worshippers survive the darkness.
I must.
So what now, you ask?
I do. It's true.
Yes, but you have little power, and so you will know the world through your people's eyes. This means sometimes you will encounter your own divine messengers, and maybe
apart from Simon,
even
he's
face
blind.
your own avatars. Weird, I know. Your first mission is to survive. Every critter is trying to make sure you stay down. So get food and craft better equipment to protect yourselves.
Gosh darn those critters.
People to victory, either by sheer survival and progress, or by solving the cosmic tree's mystery.
And incidentally, there is a little bit of background information I'm missing here, is that I believe the story goes that 200 years ago, a permanent night fell upon the world, and basically the gods fell. They lost their divinity, and now they effectively walk with their followers. So there is that whole thing when the cosmic tree collapsed, you know, the tree that holds up the universe. So it sounds very much like Yggdrasil, and I'm sure there must be a crossover there. Yggdrasil being the tree in Nordic mythology, of course. But I have done this once, so I'm a deity, you know, I already know these things and don't need the talk, so we'll skip the tutorial.
Right. Now are you absolutely sure? There is no
yes.
calling you back, you know.
I know.
When you have time,
I'm a god, I understand these things.
Baked or roasted food.
I say that now.
You may want to research some varieties as well to match your supplies. Also, leave these 10 crafted foods in the village until I show up. Remember to check the magical help button to read more. Yeah, I know more about the mechanics.
Yes, I am sure. Craft 10 cooked, baked, or roasted food and leave it in the village. Got it. Now off with you. Leave tutorial. And we get some XP and some research points. And basically, you gain research points. Well, we'll get into that when we get into the game. So here's Ostoya. We seem to have started an interesting place, actually. So we press R. Let's see what resources we have around us. We have seaweed. We have mushrooms. We have wood, and I believe the village probably also has a radius around which... I don't know if this is... Well, we can see that the village has got vegetables and wood. So, welcome to the world. Let's just have a little quick look at this, shall we? So, in this game, unlike a lot of other 4X games, what we do not do is we do not expand to other settlements. The sort of expand... But so you've got explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. The expand sort of part of this 4X is a bit loose. It comes from actually getting more villagers and being able to throw out more expeditions into the world, and that's what we have right here. So you will form expeditions from the villagers of your town or city, and you'll send them out to explore and hopefully... Oh, and look, here's our god, right? That's a very cool little image there, I like that. But you'll send them out to explore, to wipe out enemies, and just generally find resources that you need to grow your village. Now, Ostoya, we'll just have a little look at this. This is Ostoya, this is our town, our city, our settlement, if you will. Now, we have several things we can do. We can, well, let's just have a little look at our inventory. So, we currently have 4 citizens of Ostoya. We also have 2 children, who are no doubt feeding their bellies and doing bugger all else. But Tomislava, Zadar, Nistoy, and Kadfan. Like I said, I'm probably butchering those names, and I apologise. But we can do different things. Like, for instance, we can assign... Now, we've got certain people here with baskets. Now, these guys are very, very good at gathering. And we have other people here with hammers. And these guys are very good at crafting. Now, it turns out that in my last game, I got much better villagers than these, so it seems like there is an element of randomness that's going on with how well your villagers can do things, which, again, is interesting. Now, Kadfan here doesn't have either of these traits. He's probably a warrior. So we definitely want to get our guys gathering, so effectively we got a bar here, X of 60. Now, this guy with the gathering trait of 3. I'm actually... Ooh, yeah, it doesn't really matter who I put in. I'm going to put Nistoy in here. So, he adds plus 30 progress to this task. And that will take him 2 turns to gain 14 food. Zadar, we put on wood, will take him 2 turns to gain 7 wood. Simple as that. Nice and easy, right? So we're going to go back. Close... Whoops, nope, I'm now doing the wrong thing. Excuse me. We also want to get some crafting underway. Now, the first thing we want to do is have a little look at our food supplies. So all we've got currently is meat. We don't have a lot of wood. Now, our supplies are very simple. This is a survival game. We need to keep track of food and wood. Now, I can't remember what happens if you don't burn wood. I think it's that you can't heal from injuries and other really bad stuff can start to happen. But I know for a fact that every single turn, your villagers, each villager every turn will consume 1 food. And 1 turn is not analogous with a day. There is a day-night cycle in this game. So we're going to just do this here. We're just going to throw these things in. Obviously, you can see that we can have a primary material, a secondary material, and this will change what we craft. But at the moment, we don't really have a lot of options. Now, this will create... So from these 2 meats and 2 wood, we will create 8 cured and dried straps of meat. So in other words, jerky. In fact, it even says that there. So it seems like a fair trade. You're producing more from less. So we want to start that up, and we definitely want to get Tomislava to start this, and we'll probably have her... In fact, I'm going to leave her just as is right now. Now, in fact, Kadfan is going to come... No, Kadfan can't come and help. That's such a shame. We may as well put Kadfan to work, probably gathering over here, however. Let's see. Food is going to be by far the most needed thing. Wow, we had some mighty plus 2. So you can see here that we have our town's inventory. And if I click, and if we go to the equipment screen, we can also see that Kadfan, you know, our warrior, is outfitted with an axe and a shield, and we can also see that he has a weight property. So Now this all ties into the combat system and the tactical system and the social system. All of these stats actually matter. And there's quite a few in the game. I've not even scratched the surface of all this stuff, but this game, as I'm sure you can realise, it's really important to micromanage your characters, but the game makes it quite easy, so I don't mind. And here we have managed supplies, and we can actually tell our villagers not to use certain supplies, so we can actually toggle this off, and then they won't burn anything, but that is folly. We do not do this. And as you can also see, if we have more food variety in our town, then we get bonuses. So food variety is a very good thing. And here, if we chose to, we could start a new expedition. So I think that explains that fairly well, doesn't it? And here we have our expedition. So let's have a little look at our expedition here. Let's have a look at our equipment. So what have we got? Now we've got a medic, which... a medic skill is invaluable in fighting sickness challenges, and it lowers chances of dying from wounds for the group they're in. And we'll get to wounds later, I'm sure we will. Now, Dobrosolka probably has... stealth, yeah, so we can do sneak things. But she's effectively a talker. She, you can actually probably see for yourself. Yeah. Yes, she is the person. She's the face of the party, so there will be social challenges, and everybody else here seems to be a warrior, and we'll get to those later. So we need to send this expedition out. We can see that this expedition has enough food to last for 8 turns, and it has enough wood to burn for 5. Not necessarily a huge amount, but look at this! A treasure chest! Let us move over here and see what we can find. You stumble across some ruins of an old city engulfed in mist and mystery. Yes, we'll search. You open one of the buildings, a strange-looking stone and metal built affair, and you hear a clunking noise, then a blunt thud. Before you're able to do anything, you see a skeleton charging your way. To arms, we shall fight. And now this is where the combat system kicks in. I haven't really looked at this part this part too much, but this shows you what you're fighting. But what you do fight is somewhat procedurally generated. And let's have a look at this. So this is a really interesting part of the game. The combat system is a sort of card-based battle affair. Now then, you can see here that I've got... Now, on this side of the screen, I've got my active characters, okay? So these guys are the guys that I can just throw onto the battlefield and go, here, you're going to hit an enemy, and you're going to hit an enemy. I don't want to throw this guy in. He's only got 7 health, and he's only got an attack of 2. Right, these guys are my tactics cards. Now, these guys are like, they're like spells, right? If you're looking something like Magic the Gathering, these are kind of like, can function as your spell cards. So she can shield an ally, or move an ally into the first action slot. Or she can use the ability called Get Closer, which means I can put her onto the battlefield, but she loses out on the first turn of combat. So it's a bit hit and miss. I don't particularly like this starting lineup. So what I can do is reshuffle and hope to crap that I get a better lineup than the one I have. If I don't, I'm a bit stuffed, and in fact it's actually... I wouldn't say it was worse, it's probably just about the same. But anyway, we'll keep these in play and we'll show the combat system off. I haven't figured out who attacks first on a turn, but this Skelly Bob has got a massive amount of HP and a pretty damn deadly attack. Now, the way the combat system works is that whoever I throw down onto the battlefield will be attacking from left to right. So the skeleton will attack the person to its right, and right and so on, until there's nobody to their right and they have to come back to the start and attack. You'll see that in a minute. So what do I want to do? It's a very fair point. Now this guy's got a lot of HP. So I'm going to put her in to combat. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to put her into combat first. A lot of HP, 16 attack, very powerful. Now, Luba has got more attack, but will only have 17 HP. The shield adds directly to their health value, and that's important when you want to use stuff like Shield Ally. You see, she's only got a Shield 1, a Shield Ally 1. Pretty awful, honestly. So, Luba, we're going to put... Oh, no, I can't put Luba in. It's not letting me do that. That's fair enough. So we have a hulking rat, who we're really not too terrified about, but I'm going to put Luba in. And we can see here how many cards I can play in a turn. Again, I'm not entirely sure what dictates this. But as we can see here, she's only got a strength of 5. She's got a high attack, but only a strength of 5. We don't want her to get into the fight. So what I'm going to do is do this first action ability. The allied card with the lowest initiative, which would be Luba, which level is equal to or lower than the first action, yeah, well, blah, 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 is moved to the beginning. So we're going to move her to the front of the queue. And then she's going to get 2 attacks on the Skelly Bob. And the reason that's a good thing is because this Skelly Bob is confused. He's not going to get an attack on the first round of combat. This is probably all going to be really frigging weird to begin with, but don't worry, it will make sense, I promise. Now, we can't do anything else. We're going to have to wait for the computer to move in here. Right, we've got another hulking rat. We are going to get closer, which means we're going to put Dobrogost into the fight, but he's going to be confused on the first turn. And then, now he's got 2 cards left to play, so do I want more... No, we're going to confuse that rat, so it's also not going to act on the first turn. And I'm not going to put Bartosz into play. I think that would be a little bit folly at this point. So I'm going to pass, and the computer has to pass, and then we'll start the combat. Now, the combat happens automatically. So as you can see, that's a strike. The rat is dead. This rat can't attack. Oh, this rat attacks me, though. Because as you see, there's nothing to these rats' right, so it has to come back and attack the opponent on its left. And it's going to come back and bite me again there. But now, after 2 rounds of combat, you basically then rinse and repeat. Now, he's only got 1 rat on the field. So really, I just don't care, you know, at this point. I'm going to put Dobrogost down. I'm going to confuse the rat. I'm happy with this lineup. Fight phase 1. Rat's dead. Okay? I hope that makes sense. It took me a little while to wrap my head around it, but now we get loot. You search the buildings and discover a supply store still intact. So we got a rib cage. You have yourself a second rib cage to keep yours safer. Makes sense. A spiked club, that could be useful. Let's have a little look at the... Right, blunt damage. All damage remaining after killing an opponent is then dealt to the second opponent. I didn't know that, but it's only a damage of 2, so that's pretty awful. That's pretty awful. I'm probably going to render that down for materials, honestly, because that is crap. And all of this stuff, you know, we've got some extra meat, some amber. Oh, it's great. You know, we get a nice load of supply. We got plus 2 XP, which helps to level up our group, and a research point. And research is not something I've yet covered. This is the research tree, and it looks a lot more confusing at first than it actually is. We've got three parts to it. We've got gathering, we've got crafting, and construction. Now, gathering is very, very simple. If I were to select, say, cane, I would immediately get plus 5 cane in my settlement, and somewhere on the map, somewhere, I would be guaranteed for 1 cane resource to appear, but I don't know where. I'd have to scout for it. So if I really want to craft something, say, I don't know, I want to craft some armor, and I need amber, and I don't have a source of amber, even though I've just found some, but even if I didn't have a source of amber, then I would unlock a source of it somewhere on the map, and then I could send expeditions out to go and gather it. So that's sort of the gameplay loop in a nutshell. Now, I haven't really figured out what I want to do. We do start with the knowledge to build a pasture, which can attract grants meat each turn, and will also sort of, I think, attract people to our game. Not entirely sure about that one. But yeah, we're going to leave that research point for now because I'm not entirely sure what I need yet. So we're just going to keep We're just going to keep wandering around with these guys and seeing what we can see. We've got a source of coal here. That's very good as a burnable resource. Looks like there's something else here in the fog of war. We'll end the turn. So yeah, it's telling me that I've got the research point to spend, but I don't want to spend that yet. So we're just going to keep moving around and seeing what we find. Right, so we got a combat encounter here. I might do something about that in a minute. So we have another source of coal, and we have a source of string. Excellent. I could not find any of that in my last game. I didn't explore far and wide enough to find any string. Now at this point, right? Yeah, because this is telling us we've seen some beasts. Now, some of our villagers are idle. These guys are going to continue to get food, and in fact, our supplies have increased. As you can see, we're now gathering vegetables. So, we're going to get our villagers to craft some more stuff. Now, what I would really, really like... I really want to craft some gathering tools or some crafting tools, because then I can equip my gatherers and crafters with these, and it helps to buff up their stats. And being a warrior tribe, I don't start with very good crafters and gatherers. So what do I need? So what I don't have... I do not have any straw. I've got some string, I've got some wood, and I've got some leather. Right, so I could really do with the straw. So what I'm going to do then, because I really want to get my gathering into a better place... Well, actually, this is the other weird thing. So I can't research straw. What I can research is wicker, and wicker will actually substitute for straw as a better version of that crafting material. So I'm gonna research that. Then I should have 5 back in my village. Let's see. So we're gonna go back to craft. I want some gathering tools first and foremost. So there we go. So we can use the wicker. We don't really want it to be burned, however, so I might turn that off in a moment. We're going to use string, and then we'll use 5 of our precious wood, and that gives us another 3 gathering skills. So once we've built that, and it will take a little while, once we have built it, 4 turns, then basically each of these guys will be gathering whatever their resource is once each turn. It makes a lot of sense, right? It does to me. So that's that. That's good. So we've got some jerky. That's great. I'm just going to turn off wicker, because I don't want that to be burnt. Just at the moment. Can these guys move again? They can. Now, I did see something over here, so let's go and see what we can see. The Hungry Unliving. Oh my. Any more resources? Right, so we have a supply of herbs. That's interesting. And we need to be mindful of these guys' supplies. Always need to be mindful of that. So the Hungry Unliving is a difficulty 1, which is donated by the skull here. I took a starting party and I encountered a difficulty 2 in my last game and I was destroyed. Okay, so here we go. You approach your enemy and have time to decide your plan of action. So we have somebody in our party with the tactics trait. So here's the thing, right? So you have combat. Now for me, as a warrior tribe, combat might be the easiest thing for me to do. Combat is the one real way in which my characters can accrue wounds, and if they become badly wounded, well, they could actually die. It's not guaranteed. So if a character is knocked out of combat, it's a slow death. It's not an immediate thing, but if they do die, well, that's a huge loss to your party. So we could try a tactics thing. But I think we're just going to fight the undead filth. 1 unliving corpse and 2 broken skellybobs shouldn't be too hard. In fact, we've got a half-decent lineup here, so I'm good with this. Let's keep and play. So as you can see, only got attack of 4, only got an attack of 5. I'm not concerned. I'm just simply not concerned about this. We'll put Sekislava into the mix here, and we shall give her the first action to get rid of one of the skellybobs. Now this is confused. It's only a strength of 5, so again, I'm not going to be too worried about that. I'm going to put Luber in, and we shall also get closer. And that's me done. So we'll just begin the first round of combat and see what happens. Ouch. Ouch! I need to be careful with her, actually. Right, yeah, she could take a bit of a pounding if I'm not careful here. It seems that they are attacking the car to their left, so I'm clearly not quite understanding how the combat system is working out here. Now, Sekislava has taken a few wounds. She's taken a bit of a pounding. However, when the combat round restarts, she will re-add this defensive modifier to her health. So it's not too bad, right? It's not awful. So we'll keep and play. He's only got the zombie left. And it looks like we're going first, so if we just put something nice, big and beefy down, we'll kill the zombie straight off. Luber can go in, and that's us really done. The zombie comes out. Okay, so we can't kill this straight up, so what we are going to do is this. And then zombie is level 1, so we can use our level 2 character here to confuse the zombie. And that's a very dead zombie. It will not get to attack us. It's actually a simple but elegant combat system. I really quite like it. It's a very decent way of doing things. So Sekislava's taken 3 minor wounds. It doesn't matter too much. She'll get those back. And we have a medic in our group, so it shouldn't take too long to do. And now we do have a treasure chest here, which I'm very eager to have a look at. Ruins of an old city engulfed in mystery once more. You search the ruins and find an interesting building to explore, but it seems half submerged in water. As you enter, a creature comes out from the waters and attacks you. Oh noes! Now this could be dangerous. And I need to reshuffle this hand. That hand is pretty awful. That's also pretty awful. This could be bad. Looks like I am getting the first turn of combat in, however. So he's got a very high defense, but a fairly low attack. So I want him on the battlefield first. I'm going to want her in second, I think. Why can't I put... Oh, of course, yeah. That doesn't work, does it? Because she'll get confused. Oh, that's horrible. That is actually really bloody horrible. Okay, well, we'll put her in. End that turn. As I feared, that is an horrendous monster, and I need to do something about it. But it is confused, so... 9. Yeah, we'll be able to kill this thing off. So what else have we got? Warp snakes. Warp snakes. Dangerous. Very, very dangerous here. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, we're gonna get closer with Luba. And see what he brings out, I think. Right, it's only attack 4, and it's not poisonous, which is the good news. Okay. So, with that in mind, I will bring out Iveta. And I think we will... we'll see. Yeah, I can't actually play another card this turn, so we'll see what else he's doing. That all snake is poison. Now, the reason poison is dangerous is that if the enemy has got through your armor, basically the little +5 thing, your temporary HP really, and they have the poison trait does double damage, which really, really hurts. I mean, let's be perfectly honest about this. It really hurts. So that's a confused snake. Don't worry. Don't mind about that too much at the minute. I'm just going to pass again. Okay, we'll just shield. It's only 1 HP, but it's 1 HP that might make the difference, and we're going to pass, and it's the first fight phase. Yeah, Iveta is taking a hit there. Oh, of course she's hitting the Utiopa. Oh, crap, Iveta. No, Iveta. That's not good. That's not good at all. Right, what have we found? We found a silky vest. Not only does this armor offer greater protection, but it's the best choice if you consider the current fashion trends. Now, Iveta has a serious wound. Heavily wounded, this character may die from their wounds. Now, there are ways to sort of help to prevent this. One is having a medic in your group. The other one is to make camp with your expedition, and when you make camp, you can basically then gather resources. Making camp also helps to keep your characters alive, or you go back to your main settlement, which is what we just might do. We have found a lot of bird meat, which is very juicy. I like it. So if we can, now we can't get a party back, so what I'm going to do, this turn, they still have an action point left, so we're going to make camp, and if we're very, very lucky, she won't die. As you can see here, we've actually got a crafter with us, and a pretty poor gathering skill, so that's a shame. But hopefully, fingers crossed, she will not die. We shall have to see as we turn over. And it looks like we've also got a research point, and people have leveled up. So, animal kinship, that's an interesting skill. I can't seem to see what that is. Herbalism, so we're going to have to look at these characters to find out what these are, and I'll probably look at them a little bit later. And some of the characters, +2 perception, intelligence, strength, and health. And she hasn't died this turn, and what we're going to try and do is, if we can, we're going to break camp and get these guys back to our village. And hopefully that'll help her to recuperate in good time. So yeah, guys, that's really been an introduction to Thea the Awakening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's intriguing. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. If you don't like the video, please feel free to hit the thumbs down. But you'll be doing me a great service if you can leave me a comment and tell me why you don't like it, or leave me a comment and tell me why you do. Everything is good at this point. Don't forget to subscribe. My name has been ChromeDrake. Great health, good gaming, and I will catch you in the next episode of Thea the Awakening. Goodbye for now.